Two beards and some bullshit. Back at you.
What episode are we at?
I'm actually looking at that.
It's an
that
excellent
right now.
question. No, like,
I don't know.
Better yet, what? It's
14?
been
14 maybe?
3 weeks.
I'm gonna guess 14. Yeah, it's 14.
3 weeks we've been
too long.
out. It has been a good hot minute.
Too long.
But
life.
That does happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Life.
Just because we didn't do a podcast doesn't mean we were not still friends.
Yeah, right.
We're still friends. We're still seeing each other exclusively.
I do still need to come over and hang out just to hang out because that hasn't happened in about like 2 months.
You know, I mean, open door policy.
Right? Totally.
Also, weather's changing, so things are going to be a lot easier to like.
True that.
Hang out, you know, because I like hanging out outside. And
yes. When it's not like melting your skin off, humid.
Yes, no one likes melty skin humid. That's the worst kind of humid, in case you guys didn't know that. Melty skin is probably as bad as it gets. Maybe boiling skin, that might be one.
Oh, sure, but I mean, like that's right up there with the same kind of stuff.
It's terrible, is what we're saying.
But yeah, it's soupy. It's on your skin hot. It's not like, ooh, it's warm out, but it's a little uncomfortable. It's like in your clothes.
Exactly. Like I said on stream today, dude, like it's possible to like take a shower in Florida, take a shower, get out of your shower, and then sweat while you dry yourself off.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little better position here.
And then sweat while you dry yourself off. That happens a lot. So, episode 14, we don't really have a game plan for this one. We're just going to do it as we do it.
There was really not a plan. One thing that's kind of kept me, we'd mentioned life. The life stuff happens. For me, it's been relearning, I should say, moderating social activity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been really easy for me for the last couple of weeks, like either interacting with new people or hanging out with people I wouldn't normally hang out with. Even if you don't have a plan, somebody hits you up. You're like, sure.
You're like, yeah, okay, we can go throw kittens off of the water tower.
So I mean, relearning how to do that with moderation has been really big for me, just in the last 2 weeks of bringing back, making a plan, sticking to a plan. When the unexpected comes up, it's gonna come up. It's gonna pop in whenever it does happen. And that's fine, but you don't want to do 3 or 4 of those every week. Like that ends up,
I mean, dude,
costing quite a bit in time and the
I can say
finances.
for sure, like my life got a lot more organized once I started to keep myself busy.
Yes.
Like legitimately,
sure.
like establishing a schedule and then staying to it. Even if that's like, for instance, like I can show you kind of a little picture here. It's something that I did to kind of help me just kind of visualize how things work. So I wrote my kids a chores list, right?
Right.
It's backwards, sorry, but it's more of like just the example here. Let me see if I can get it where it's not reflecting. There it is. So there's my kids' chores list, and then I've got like down here is like that's my stream schedule. Like that's my daily schedule. If it's in yellow, it's a stream, right?
Yep.
And then everything else is kids. And then work is like not listed, and sleep is like not listed. But it's like just being able to have something that I could like go to and like do and come back to like next week and say, how did this work out? What should I change? Like where does this make sense for me? Like after doing that for like 6 months, dude. Like number one, I don't have any free time anymore. Like if it's not something that I have down here, like I don't know what I'm doing. In the next 5 minutes, but I know that like in an hour I have shit to do, and then like I'm, basically after my kids get home from school, I'm in bed after that. It's like home from school, homework, dinner, bedtime, and that's my day. Like I don't do that,
And there's kind of like the free floating stuff, like chores you want to get done that aren't absolutely necessary that you try and sprinkle in while you're doing everything else as well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's it's kind of funny because I know people like they'll watch me stream and they'll think like, oh, this guy's fucking got it made, man. He's like sitting around playing video games all day, and it's like what you don't see is like every 20 minutes or every hour, every half an hour, I'm up like fucking like washing dishes, and I've got like a load of laundry, and I'm fucking folding towels, and I got dogs in and out, and I'm like scheduling fucking pest control, and I'm calling the fucking cable company, and like I'm doing like all kinds of shit. That like it
all at the same time.
That's right. That's shit that needs to get done on the regular. Like those little fucking chores, like changing out the filter for our air conditioning intake. You know what I mean? Like things that's like, this
it takes 10 minutes.
This guy's just sitting here playing video games.
Yeah.
No, dude, there's shit happening. This is a whole house full of things, and it is constantly doing something. So,
or you are constantly doing something for, in it, or around it.
Oh, dude, like when I
like today. Yesterday, I spent, took me 2 hours. I got some of the holly bushes outside trimmed up. I filled a 55-gallon bag of holly limbs because that's how much they've been growing in the area lately. And then went out and had dinner and a couple drinks with a friend I haven't seen for about a week and a half. She's also been very, very busy. Like her entire work schedule has multiplied by like 5 times. And tonight, I'm going to get done with the podcast here. I'm probably going to go back and cut some more holly bushes, and then maybe see if I can't hit somebody up and go out for early evening and hang out and actually just interact like you and I are right now, and then get home and get to bed so I can stream tomorrow before work.
Dude, that's exactly it, man. Like once I started like putting the streaming in my schedule, it was like number one, 18-hour days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't squeeze it all in.
Yeah.
Without having 18-hour days. And like, I want to stream 5 days a week. And so what do? I stream 5 days a week. I make that happen.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people who are like, "Oh, I want to," and then they they don't make it happen,
Yep.
They don't want to bad enough, because if you do, you'll make it happen. That's how this shit works.
You find a way, or you make a way.
You
one
make
or the
it
other.
happen. Trust me.
And
if you
that's
want
not
something,
that's not a burn on anybody who's talking about or looking towards doing something. It's just there's that's the first step. The first step is acknowledging that you want to make a change. The second step, there isn't a transition. There isn't a 1.5. Like you want to do it, and then you do it.
Yeah, if you
if
you
middle
truly
ground doesn't
want
exist.
something, right? If you truly want something, you're going to work to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want something, you just say you want something. Maybe you just just want to say you want it. I truly do feel like
you're telling yourself,
right? If you and I are like, yo, we should do a podcast, and then we never fucking did a podcast, that means that like one of us doesn't really want to do a podcast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like hey, we should do a stream together.
Two of us, we couldn't make it happen. Like,
right? Hey, we should do a stream together. So okay, sounds good. And then you never do. That means one of you doesn't really want to do it.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, like it is kind of blunt, like a harsh kind of truth, but if someone says to you,
there's no sugar there.
If someone says to you, we should do something, and then they never do that with you, like that's because they don't want to, or
right.
Maybe they're waiting on you to like make the first move, and they're like this really weird, timid rabbit creature who
Well, I mean, I can be a timid rabbit creature from time to time.
You can also be like kind of like an elusive, some sort of like varmint that lives in a hole.
Yeah, I tend to. I can be kind of sketchy and like shifty.
I mean, I wasn't trying to point at anybody in specifically, but I do see a lot of people who like they give lip service to like they want to do this or they want to do
an
that.
idea.
When it comes time to actually do it, like they don't put the effort in, and so like whether they want to do it or not is going to be directly exposed by whether or not they actually do it. So
yes. I just realized something about my schedule. We were talking about schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I know what I'm doing this Saturday. I have a spoopy party, so I get to put my costume on and go be spoopy times.
When is that?
This Saturday, after work.
The one coming up.
Yep.
This Saturday coming up.
This month has got like 3 or 4 things in it about spoopy times that are all happening.
That's cool. We should get our spoopy times put together too.
Mm-hmm.
Find a spoopy game. Maybe we can do like a
what can we both get that would be easy to grab, fun to play? And
I'm
on
already
both
getting
platforms?
76.
Like,
I'm already getting 76.
Well, yeah.
And it's already coming out.
It's not very spoopy.
Before Halloween. But I mean, like, I don't know if you have to have the game itself to be spoopy. You could just be dressed up in, like,
Yeah, I mean, my costume isn't really spoopy at all.
Like, I mean, I was also thinking the more I thought about it, the more I'm kind of down, like really into like playing some Sea of Thieves with you, because I feel like and I don't want to say anything bad about the people that I played it with regularly before, but like, they didn't take it the same level of seriously that I did.
Come on now, what are you doing taking things serious?
I mean, well, like not like serious, like
but like playing into
dude,
it.
Like yeah,
you,
man,
you really enjoy. You bought a pirate hat.
I was fucking role playing.
You bought
I was role playing
pirate hat.
And
yeah,
like I was trying to have a fun, pirate fucking stream, and it's like people wouldn't commit to it. They wouldn't turn that like character on. So
yeah, I hear you there.
It kind of got boring. Like, the game is fun. I love the game, but like at the same time, it's like
you wanted that additional around the game as well.
Like, I don't care if I'm gonna go pick up a chicken or pick up a couple of pigs. Like, if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing. But we should do it as fucking pirates, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I don't want to spend the whole time in the stream talking about your fucking, rickets or some shit. Like, you got fucking
scurvy.
I mean, even that would be like pirate themed. I would accept that one at least, but it's like I feel like we could have a pretty fucking good immersive kind of gameplay.
Oh yeah. Even and not even like entirely. Like, there's gonna be moments where we break character because sometimes things are too funny and you laugh too hard, but it would be fun to be able to have that kind of play into, to honestly, like, just the idea of the game itself. Like, it's a simulator. Like, it's a pirate simulator. Like, you get to literally be a pirate. Like, you get to build your pirate. You get to go do piratey things. You fight bones and stuff. Like, there are skeletons that come out of beaches.
Dude, like, I can tell you right now, man, just sailing the ship is super enjoyable. And it's one of those things I'm telling you now, like, you could literally solo that game, not do a single quest, not earn a single piece of gold, and just sail around having a blast.
Yeah. And just go discover things. Be like, look at that over there. And keep sailing.
Just go wherever the wind takes you. You can be a fucking free spirit. You know what I mean? Just and I feel like for me, it's important to, as a variety streamer, as someone who does gameplay like on a daily basis, for hours at a time, like, you need to kind of switch shit up. And that kind of game is like almost like, how sometimes you get home from work and you just crack open a beer, you put your feet up, and you just watch some mindless TV.
Yep.
That's kind of like what that game feels like when you're streaming it. Like compared to like a really quick FPS or like some kind of like survival strategy game or some shit like that. Like,
more involved.
Dude, it's so much fun. You just put your pirate hat on. You know what I mean? Like, figuratively kick your streamer feet up and just enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun.
Right. Hell yeah. So. That's I'm gonna have to look into grabbing that. Now that I've actually taken the step of joining the clan finally.
I'm not positive, but it might be on the Xbox Game Pass. They have like it's almost like a Netflix style subscription where they put out new games every month, and you can like add them to your library, and then you just pay the monthly fee, and you can play the games. So I think I got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Actually, I picked that up from the Game Pass. It's only like $9.99 or something.
Yeah,
I think it's worth it because you get a whole bunch of new stuff, and you don't have to like continually update your library with like brand new games. You kind of have like the options of, there's usually like one good one kind of good one, maybe a gem somewhere every 2 or 3 months, but then there's like 2 or 3 shitty ones that you just never give a shit about.
Or you kind of ignore them.
Well, but it's also like they started putting a lot of the Xbox 360 library into the Game Pass. Like, they've got like the
so that's their way to do the retro.
Yeah, they've got.
That's a pretty good way to do retro too, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say that it's better than the PlayStation Plus subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have PlayStation Plus. I almost never look through. Like, I have the games that I have. Like, that's pretty much the only stuff.
Like right now, like just to give you an example, it's been almost 2 years since it was released, but The Division was on the Xbox Pass this last month. You know what I mean? And that's one of those games where it's like, you don't have to do every last activity, and you don't have to like,
You can go through and do
really,
what you.
Really
it's
yeah.
There's storyline stuff, but then there's always going to be extra.
It's a cool game, It's a like, I think it's one of the more like tough, like consequential oriented kind of games, to where some like a lot of these encounters require you to be tactical, and you kind of have to know about cover, because it's a cover shooter.
But you've got to think about where you're approaching, or what you've got set up on your talents or your skills, like how you can approach that fight, because there are still the different trees. There's different choices for how you're going to build out your sets.
Yep, and like it's a good game. And it's free on the Xbox Pass. You pay $10. So, Game Pass. I think it's called Xbox Game Pass, but I like it. It was a pretty cool, like, AAA title, Like it was pretty cool to find a AAA title on that Game Pass. So I think I'm not sure, dude, but like I think you can pick up a used Xbox One for like $200.
Right.
Maybe less.
Should be able to.
You maybe even be able to like scour Craigslist for about a week.
Right.
People are always getting rid of game consoles.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be something I'm most likely going to grab you just to bring down what I'm going to be spending. But I'm going to look at the options when I go to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be going to GameStop, obviously, but I'm going to be looking at what I have access to and what kind of titles they've got already there, pre-owned or used.
Yeah, dude. Like I went to the dollar store yesterday.
Yeah.
Like literally, I went to the Dollar General, and they have Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4 games. Now they're not like the bestest ones, but they had like Skyrim and they had Fallout and they had Titanfall and like some of those like other games that didn't like do like super well or whatever, but I mean,
they're still really well known. Like Titanfall is one that people still,
you know what I mean. You can get fucking. It was the old version of Skyrim. It wasn't the special edition, so you can't like mod it. It was that one was for PS3. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's one of those things, man. Like you want to be able to play a variety. It's good to have a home game, something that like you can come back to and kind of
being able to play different stuff though is really big, like, really important. I know a lot of people like like the whole fork knife, Fortnite, the battle royales. One of the things that a lot of people see with those is, you're gonna get followers and interact with people when you're playing those games, but when you play something else, they just kind of drop off.
I mean,
not everybody.
Like, like if you spend 6 months playing one game and that's what people expect to see you play, and then
suddenly
all
you
of
play
a sudden
something
one
else.
day you're doing something different. Like, dude, even the guys who are up there like top of the directory, like thousands of viewers at a time, they still have people who pop in like, you don't play X game anymore? Well, fuck you. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, It's like that's that's gonna happen no matter what. But I think it's a good idea. Like if you establish yourself by playing a main game and then switching it up regularly, people will maybe your growth will be a little bit slower because people, sometimes people just want a single game from you all the time.
Right.
Sometimes people just want that attitude from you when they watch you play. But it's a
but as you
idea.
grow, like the people that you're going to be growing are going to be people who are going to hang around because they're not always there for the gameplay. They're there to hang out with you.
Well, sure, but like also like there's people there who are just there to lurk. You know what I mean? They'll just turn on a tab and like just leave it alone. Sometimes they listen to you like it's a radio station, and sometimes they don't listen at all. Sometimes they have it muted. Sometimes they're not watching. Like sometimes they have it with no audio, but they are watching. Like there's a lot of different ways people will consume your content. So it is a good idea. Like I said, to play a main game so you have something to kind of gravitate around, but also it's a good idea
something
to
go back to.
Break it up, like, hey, I like it when Sneak Thief plays Fallout. Well, I like it when he plays Skyrim.
Right. The whole like I have thought of a way to do the projects. I've got a small woodworking project I'd like to kick off that was kind of inspired by Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Just a little idea that I wanted to try out and see, how it would be putting it together. And I'm probably just going to do like short videos or photos, and do a slideshow and run that on OBS.
It's a good idea.
Because then I can talk about and interact with people about what I'm doing and what we're looking at and how I did it.
That's a good idea.
I think it's I'm not sure how well. I know the creative, like the non-gaming stuff, took time. Oh, excuse me, to grow on Twitch, and I know that on Mixer it's still really just mostly game oriented. So I'm not sure how that growth is going to be perceived or received on Mixer.
I don't think you should worry about that for a friggin' second.
Right? Yeah.
Because look,
and it's going to be what it's going to be.
Something that I realized recently as well is like people throw around the term content creator a lot, but a lot of times they just mean streamer,
right?
Which is someone who does create content. But I feel like
yes,
a content creator is diverse and
a lot more than that.
Like the post you make on Twitter, the post you make on your Facebook, the photos you post on your Instagram, like all that stuff is content. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you're looking at content creation as a whole, you have a huge, like, broad kind of reach of things that you could be producing. And one of those is easily a woodworking project that you take photos of.
Right.
Like there's even like I've seen people like document their journey to streaming. Like from the computer build all the way to
right.
Like it's so easy to get caught up in like, oh, I got to sit here and play video games, but really like your main job is creation.
Yeah,
it's creating something. So you can use different mediums, you can use different sources, you can use all kinds of stuff to like create something, and it's don't put yourself in a fucking box.
Well, it's even like all the graphic stuff too, like the frames, or setting up your channel or building your descriptions. Like on Mixer, my description is really, really not complicated. Like it's pretty basic right now. And that's something I do want to put attention to. Like I want to be able to make some images that are still me and get those in there, and then also start filling in and making that a little more descriptive.
Right. Yeah. Mine's kind of, what's a good word for it? Playful, maybe. It's like I didn't make that too serious,
Right.
The information that people generally want is there, the general, find me on Facebook, find me here, do this there, this is my schedule, this is what I do, this is the games I play, here's my PC setup. Like that's all there, but you take a little bit of like creativity to like what goes down there, and it becomes memorable.
Hell yeah. But, well, just even funny, like if you can find a way to make it humorous, or something that stands out, that's where you're not just another description.
Yep. And like I said, people will remember that. Like I think it's especially like when you're first starting, like variety, diversification, learning how to repurpose your content. That's all habits that I wish I would have learned when I first started.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, it takes a little bit of extra time, takes a little bit of extra effort, and you have to actually like work.
Getting used to the rhythm of it, building your rhythm of it, because everybody's going to post different. Some people are going to pop the stream up, and then they're going to, hang out while they start posting about, going online or what they're doing, or, everybody's going to have a different rhythm that makes that their content.
Yes, and
just like meeting new people, meeting new streamers is the same as meeting new people out in the bar, which I've gotten fairly good at.
And I mean, like you can kind of tell like if you're gonna get along with someone by when you first look at them.
Yeah,
I mean, people judge other people like in the first 6 seconds or something. They've already like determined how much money you make and how smart you are and whether they're gonna like you or not. I mean, like that's I mean,
it's when you surprise those assumptions, like when
sure, yeah, yeah.
that's when they start to
When you
be more
challenge those
memorable.
assumptions,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
like
for sure. And I mean, like, some people won't give you a chance after that. They kind of like know who you are like right away, and then they decide, fuck you. And I think you can see that sometimes in the live streaming world where people are like,
right.
it's kind of the same as coming to a bar. Like you roll up to a bar, you're like, I want to play pool. You go to the place where the pool players are at, and everyone's being douchebags. You're like, fuck this place. I want to play pool.
I'm not gonna play pool right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like I think we saw an example of that today where someone came in, they were like, "You're fat."
yeah.
What?
And they got burned up. Like that's so. I mean,
quick. like everyone in chat jumped all over them, but it's like,
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, dude, like you don't know me though. You don't know like that I'm overweight. I mean, like how overweight am I? How tall am I? Do you know like my build, my BMI? Do you know my fucking doctor? Do you know like that whether I'm disabled or not? Do you know anything about me, or are you just gonna come in here and call me fat?
Nothing.
I mean, that's cool, I guess. You can do that, but don't expect to stick around. Don't expect my friends that are here hanging out with me like to
not do something about that.
Like, fucking throat, dude. Like this is kind of like hanging out in a bar, in that same sense. Like no one's gonna roll up to me while I'm running the pool tables and like try to kick me off of them. Like not when I got a whole room full of my friends.
Yeah, right.
And I mean
that would be a bad plan.
Yeah, well, you've got to develop thick skin, when you're doing shit on the internet, and
right.
I've been called plenty worse things than just fat. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, I've been working on being overweight. So, like, what is this guy doing? Oh, I know what he does for fun. He goes and says mean things to other people that he doesn't know.
To strangers, yeah.
Well, that's gonna get you literally nowhere. So
weird.
Yeah.
But, weird to me anyway. Like just the idea of like. Not only like where that comes from, one, but two, like where were you trying to go with that?
Yeah, like what's next?
What were you trying to get done with that?
If that's your pitch, I'm not buying.
Yeah, like, if that's your open. Like where were you going next? So like,
yeah. I don't know, man.
It's been an interesting the last couple weeks. Actually, the last 2 months, honestly, for me, has been interesting in the sense of. Learning what I like to get done and how I like to do it and when to take a break. And that's all super, super important.
What's that?
I mean,
what's that again? A break.
A break.
I have a beard.
I mean, a break isn't really a break for me. Like a break is taking a break from one thing that I'm putting my effort or energy towards to relax. Because there are times, well, there's going to be times where you really want to get something done because you told yourself you wanted to, but when it comes time to it, you're just really not in it. Like on that day, you're just not feeling it. That's going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah,
like I still try to do what I can to be accountable to things I agree to with other people, but
don't beat yourself up for it, though.
Just because I told myself I wanted to get these chores done on this day, if I can do 2, out of 3 or 4, I'm still all right with that. I'm okay.
Word. And I mean, like when kind of circling back to scheduling too, like it's one of those things where like streaming is not the top of my list. I have things like other things.
There's other priorities.
Yeah, I've got to get my kids. Like if they need help at school, I've got to drop everything that I have going on. I got to go do that, or if I've got to go make sure that I have an appointment for the pest control, or like we just had someone had to come and like fucking snake out our kitchen sink again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we had people replacing my roof. In 2 weeks, we're gonna have people in here. They're gonna be working on our fucking doors, and I mean, there are other things that are on my list.
Yeah.
Of what's more important to do right now, and
well, you guys are on the road to selling that house as
well.
Yeah,
we're looking at a couple of years from now being able to have like all these upgrades finished and then selling this place. Yeah. But we are looking at at least 1 to 3 more years.
Yeah.
Hopefully 3 is like the long end of it, but we're looking at spending a little bit more time here. Our kids are going to grow up a little bit more, and then we're going to be able to like maybe move out of state.
Right. Well, that's something that you guys have been talking about for a long time too. Something that's been on the table and looked at real good for a while.
The future is so
Weird.
dude.
It's weird.
It's just one of those things where it's like you can plan and plan and plan and set goal and set goal and set goal, but like life is just gonna do what life is just gonna do. And
yes, it is.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't set plans and
no,
like,
not at all.
Try to
you
achieve
should still
goals.
try to reach for that goal, but there's that whole role with it too.
There's just
yeah.
I tell it. I've been listening to a new podcast actually. It's called Sword and Scale. You should go listen to it. Anybody out there who listens to podcast.
What is it? What's the basis?
It's one of the most popular true crime podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Sword and Scale.
Sword and Scale. It's like the justice, holding a sword.
Ah, okay.
Holding it's
not
like
automatically
a fish
thinking
scale.
D&D. I was
dragons.
I was like,
no, it's like
yeah.
I thought the same thing when I first heard the name.
Yeah.
Maybe whatever, but it's a really good podcast. It's well put together, it's super immersive, and they talk about just the wackiest, craziest shit. And it's like, you can spend maybe 4 hours listening to their podcast, and then like, number one, like you'll never feel safe in public ever again. You'll never feel safe by yourself ever again.
Yeah,
you're gonna want a gun like really badly, but then you're not ever gonna want to be around a gun ever. Like it's it's such a weird feeling because the podcast is done so well and it's all true crime stuff. So it's like he's talking about current cases, he's talking about like past cases, he's talking about serial killers, he's talking about psychopaths.
Everything that's actually happened.
The fucking gamut. Like it's all true crime though.
Yeah.
Really good podcast. I suggest you go listen to it, subscribe to it, follow it, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm sure you can find it. Sword and Scale. It's fucking great. But like life, dude. Like there's these people out there, and like they don't give a fuck. And regardless of your
whatever you had
planned,
your
goals, or life is just fucking crazy. And listening to that podcast like kind of is like a reminder of. No one's gonna do it for you. There's no one out there who's got your best interest in mind besides you. Right. You know what I mean? And so like you got to go out there and take it. I'm fucking tired of living in this house. I'm fucking tired of living in this state, and we're leaving. But we have to have realistic goals to make that happen.
Yes,
so
you've got to be able to take care of everything before you can do that. To be able to get there and stay there instead of.
Yeah, and so like that's more important than streaming right now is making sure in the next 5 years I've moved out of this goddamn shithole. I hate living in this armpit sweaty dick of a state. I'm tired of it, and
the swamp ass is immediate and real and year round.
Yeah, and
year round.
No one's gonna grab my family and just pluck us out of here and put us somewhere else. That's got to be my job. That's one of my goals is I want to get my family out of this sweaty dick of a state and live somewhere better. Like there's always the whole grass is always greener bullshit. Like I get that, but at the same time, like it's the same green grass, but like I won't be like living in my own ass pond while I'm walking through this other same grass.
Yeah. That's the climate, like that's the biggest difference.
Dude, a friend of mine posted a picture.
One area to another area is very, very different.
A friend of mine posted a picture of his neighborhood in Seattle. He just moved into a new house in Seattle, and like there was like trees, right? That had leaves on them, right? Like these trees.
Yeah,
and they weren't green.
Oh yeah, you're talking about fall.
What's that again? Hey,
fall.
What's that?
Autumn.
What's that called? Never heard of that before. I live in Florida. Dude, they were like red and orange and yellow and like a dark brown and it was just it was absolutely gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like we either have green or dead.
Typically.
And it doesn't matter which season it is. Those are the two options and that's it.
Yeah.
So like just being able to like wake up and look out the fucking window and go, God damn, outside sure looks beautiful today. Maybe I'll go spend the time today. And instead of like
instead of like looking out and being like,
I could die out there.
No.
I could step out there right now and get a little too active and die.
Yes.
No thanks.
Heat stroke is serious. That's a serious deal.
It is a serious deal. I'm just saying, dude, that was kind of a long-winded way to get to the fact that, like,
Yeah.
I know the scheduling sucks.
I want to move. Look at.
And I definitely want to move. And the internet's full of stupid ass people.
Well, just everywhere, everywhere. Like you were saying, the life.
Yeah.
There are people that just straight up do not give the single smallest shit about anyone else around them.
Exactly. And I mean, you don't
vehicles, but everywhere.
Yeah, you don't ever want to like leave that shit up to chance.
Right.
Like I want to have a home protection, and I do have home protection, but I want it because not because I feel unsafe, but because if anything ever happens, I will feel prepared.
Right.
For that. And I have 2 kids, I have a smoking hot wife. The last thing I need is to deal with some fucking asshole or assholes or any kind of problem like that I can't handle. And
exactly.
Listening to a podcast where it's all about murder and rape and crimes, like real fucking crimes.
Really all you think about.
I mean, it's not all I think about, but it's like it does raise questions. It makes you wonder, like, if that happened to me, like, because the people it happens to, no one expects it. No one's like, you know what, today feels really serial killery to me. Maybe I should stay home.
Yeah.
It's just a regular day.
Yeah.
So
right.
like I don't know. Like, I'm not being paranoid about it or anything. I'm not like, fixated on it, but it does remind you, like, that you're in charge of your shit and that life happens to people,
or it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you make things happen or things happen to you, and
right.
There's a better part of that equation. You want to make things happen. You don't want things to just happen to you and like be reactionary to it, right?
Right.
You want to make shit happen. Get out there and make shit happen, people.
Do the shit.
Yeah, I'm really into that, man. Like I don't want to say that I'm doing something and then not actually do it.
I started curtailing the idea of talking about it. Talking about it isn't doing it. Mm-hmm. And the more you're talking about it, the less you're doing it.
Yeah, and it's like you hear people say, and I'm using streaming just because that's a huge part of my life right now. But it can be anything, like fixing your car or building a fucking treehouse or goddamn digging a ditch, whatever it is. Like, if you want to do something, then you will make it happen. And
right.
and you hear people in these types of situations say, I really want to X, Y, or Z, but then they don't actually do it. That means that they just want to talk about X, Y, and Z, and they don't actually want to do it. Like, I want to make a stream schedule. Well, when are you available? Well, it's I'm available, maybe, I don't know,
30 minutes every 4 hours. Look at.
I mean, if you were really available for 30 minutes every 4 hours, you could probably have one of the coolest streams ever.
Yeah.
You would just have to, like, really, make it work. And
you'd have to turn it on. You'd have to hit the button and do it.
I mean, do it to it. It do it to it.
And back to Squidbillies, of course.
But I'm not saying that everything that I choose to do is always going to be the best choice, because I'm still learning how these things work and how this stuff like fits together. And life is not you like learn a lesson and then you like live your life. Like, the entire thing is your lesson.
Is a lesson.
Yeah.
Like, it's all a continuing lesson.
If you stop learning, you stop growing. If you stop growing, then you become stagnant and you don't go anywhere and shit sucks. And the next thing you know, like, the bank is foreclosing on your house and your car's got all flat tires because you haven't driven anywhere in 6 months. And I mean, like, your mom's left like 1,500 voicemails and the cops have visited at least twice for a wellness check because your friends and family think you're dead. Like, there's choices, and sometimes people are afraid of making those choices because change is scary. But
yeah,
you gotta live your life, guys.
A really important part. Yeah.
If
you're not doing it, it's happening.
Yeah,
that's one thing. It's like,
like, it's hard because I want to get really fucking personal with this, but then again, I don't really want to get really personal with this. So I mean, I know that everyone is experiencing parts of their lives where they want to make a change and they want to make things happen in a different way, or maybe just reorient themselves, but like
just change how it's happening.
Just being so scared of change is super human. Like that's human beings I think are always going to be afraid of change, but it's how you deal with that fear that determines whether or not you're going to grow. And
yes,
growing, I think, is painful. It's uncomfortable. It's not a fun thing. It's not a thing that you're like, yes, I'm uncomfortable
right.
and doing something new I've never done before. Yay!
Whee!
But it's also, it's not something that you can just not do. You have to make an effort.
Right. Well, that's also like the really big part of just growing and being better at who you are is dealing with those situations when they're uncomfortable, or learning why you want to do it when it's uncomfortable. Or if you want to do it, like sometimes that discomfort can show you whether you really want to do something or not.
Yeah.
Like, how much is it worth? Like, what is it worth?
Yeah, I continue to relate things to streaming, but like I said, it's all about just what I'm in the middle of right now. So it kind of makes it easy for me to make these kind of correlations. But looking at it, like I listen to the Broman podcast, and he does a lot of like, his podcast is Ask Broman. You can ask him whatever the fuck you want, but 90% of his content is going to be streaming stuff. So that's what 90% of his questions are. And there's people who are like, I want to stream, but I just sit there and don't push the button. I can hear him like. Like hit the brakes, because he wants to be like, then you shouldn't stream. But at the same time, he doesn't want to tell someone like not to do it, so he has to find ways to like be encouraging. But like really, what it comes down to is like, if you sit there and you don't want to push the button, then don't push the button, dude. Like
you don't want to push it.
Find something else that you want to push the button.
If you want to, you will. Like you push it.
I mean,
you already know how to do that.
Anxiety and shyness and all that stuff is like, you've got to get past it. Like, I don't know how to talk to people. Well, streaming is like 95%.
Well, and talking to people is how you get better at and learn talking to people.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're not going to get any better at it.
Right.
Without doing it. But it's like, if you really, really want to be a streamer, then, and you're battling anxiety, or you're battling being shy, then like you will find ways to battle that, and you won't let that stop you. I've had people ask me like, yo, like I want to stream, but I don't think I'll be good at it. And it's like, well, try it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then you don't like it, then stop.
Most of the people who stream probably don't feel that they're good at it. They do it. And then they feel better about doing it.
The streamers who are out there making it happen are the ones who are passionate about it, and they're the ones who are willing to sacrifice just about whatever it takes to make it work.
Right.
So, I mean, you see people out there who they've got 9 to 5 jobs, and then they work 5 days a week, and then they stream 5 days a week, and they're fucking full-time streaming and full-time working, and that they do that for years and years and years, and they lose friends. And I mean,
well, it's the same as
they don't watch TV anymore.
Going full-time school and full-time job, like that is everything you're doing.
If you want
you might get a few hours every once in a while to do something other than those two things, and that's about it.
Yeah. And I know that it's hard, because your family and your friends look at it as like, why are you just sitting around playing video games?
Yeah, there's a lot more going on than just that.
Are you making any money at it at least?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's not how it works to begin with. Give me 5 years and then ask me again if I'm making any money at it, and then
we'll see.
Even if I'm not making money at it, what you should be asking me is like how are you impacting,
other people?
Right. Like
how do you feel about it?
How does this affect your community and your culture and your kind of like mindset and your like world? I feel like if you're considering yourself successful based around numbers, you're doing it wrong. Based around money, then you're doing.
If you're only looking at what the result of your activity is.
Yeah. It's like you can be a successful streamer or a successful content creator and still have a regular job, and still just do it part time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's like you never see a fucking dollar off of it. You can still be very successful without having money involved at all. So
yeah,
I think it's really easy to like lose track of.
I think that's kind of more of a statement about like our society and culture is we are still entirely focused about the dollar. We've got people in very high paying positions and they hate every day that they work. They don't care about their job or their company. They You can absolutely, you can succeed. You can make the money that you're told you need to be happy, but that will not make you happy.
And I mean, like,
That does
yeah.
nothing to do with being happy.
Yeah, dude, and like that's what's so fucked up too. Is it's like, those kind of jobs. A lot of them are to the point where it's like, if you don't show up tomorrow, they fire you and you're replaced.
You're done. You exit. Well, and you are like even in those jobs, even in those higher positions, you are just as replaceable as everyone else.
Yeah, no, there's always
Like,
someone who's
at
willing to
no
do your
point,
job for less money.
yeah, like at no point are they like, well, you've been here for 5 years. It's like, well, you got written up 3 times, so
yeah, bye.
yeah, look at
Yeah, so dude, like, there's a lot of very specific things kind of that we're talking about, but if you like broaden the horizons and look at it like as a general kind of concept, like what you want to do is you want to be able to say this is what I'm doing and then commit to doing it, making a schedule, making it work for you. I found that for me, staying busy, great, works great.
Right.
I'm fucking tired, but at the same time, like I've always got something else to do, so I stay busy. And I mean, I've just fucking circles under my eyes.
Yeah.
I wake up at like 2:00 in the morning, and I get like maybe an average of 4 hours of sleep every night. But that's my life is busy right now, and I want to devote a lot of it to streaming. I want to be able to put effort into creating content. I've been putting more stuff out. I've been putting stuff on Instagram. I've been posting shit to YouTube. I'm getting back into doing the podcast and stuff more regularly, and what I mean. Like, so there's. Everything is constantly in flux, but if you just take that desire and that passion that you have to make this happen and then actually invest in
making it happen,
don't just talk the talk. You got to walk the walk. And, I'm not saying that I've figured it out, but I'm figuring it out because I want to do it. It's that easy. I want to do it, so I'm fucking figuring it out.
Yeah. I just remembered that I need to pull up my past streams. If I want to grab like some of the clips, like the other day when you made the joke and I just straight died.
Oh.
Like I want to grab a couple things from the streams that I've done and make sure I've got them for later. Right. So if I'm gonna do that, I've got to go through them.
You just like download it.
Oh, fair enough.
You just download it, and then didn't you get a editing program or no?
Not really. Oh. Not yet.
It's easy, dude. It really is. It's like it's one of those things where like we've just been talking about. If you want to figure it out, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want it to happen, you'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to get at least one more 55-gallon bag stuffed full of limbs today to go to trash.
Yeah.
And then I'm probably going to start I want to get my bamboo running. The little pen on my bamboo has a tip for my little tablet guy. And the tip is missing, which means it doesn't work. So I basically have a giant mouse pad, like a touch pad right now. I want to get that sorted out and then play around with some images for my content.
Word, yeah, dude. If you need help with that, let me know. I'm gonna be just making chili and hopefully go to bed at some point.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Kids are home probably like 10 minutes, and then I've got homework and then dinner, and then So if you need me, like I'll be like lurking around and stuff. What I'm gonna be doing is uploading this podcast and ripping the audio and shit. So.
I don't think we've actually ended it yet. We're still going.
No. But I was gonna say, this sounds like a pretty natural place to go ahead and say goodbye.
Yeah, we're pretty close to a solid hour, and I think we've already covered some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, if you guys like the podcast, please make sure to share it out to your friends.
Tell everyone.
Like the podcast, share the podcast, rate the podcast, subscribe to it, whatever it is you do, wherever it is you listen to it. Thank you so much. We're going to keep them coming. We're going to keep this rolling. If you guys want to be on the podcast, you can always let us know by talking to us with your mouth or your fingertips.
And then figuring something out with Discord.
Yeah, no, we'll make it work. I ain't even.
We'll figure it out later.
Not even worried about that. But thanks for being a part of the show, and we're going to go ahead and call it. So, fuck off? No?
I don't remember what our sign off was. I don't think it was fuck off.
Oh, it was.
I mean, we're two beards and some bullshit. But
fuck you? No.
Nah, I don't remember what it was.
Don't let your kids listen to our podcast.
That might be a good one. Now. Well, look at.
Bye, bitches. How about no?
No.
Awkward silence.
So, well, I mean, this has been what 14 on Two Beards and Some Bullshit.
Episode 14, yeah.
14 on Two Beards and Some Bullshit. Hopefully, everybody has an awesome day and hit the button. Just hit the button.
Oh, also, guys, can you
hit the button?
Also, there's a
I don't know what button.
Awkward silence.
I was talking about what we were with, like people wanting to stream and then not streaming. Like I was tying that into like what we were doing with and I
ruined it. I'm so sorry.
I may have thought too far into it.
You
like
did. You totally threw me off. Now this is a really awkward ending. Now this is, hopefully you guys love us after this. If not, fuck off.
Classic